The owner of a gas station in Osterville will have to wait to tear down several buildings on the property. We also have details about what's on the agenda for tomorrow night's town council meeting. Plus, the Shellfish Committee could soon ask the town manager to create a new shellfish grant in Barnstable Harbor. These stories on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Wednesday, November 20th, 2013. I'm Sarah Mantle. Residents spoke out against a plan to tear down buildings at 981 Main Street in Osterville Tuesday night. The Historical Commission hosted the public hearing on the proposal. Osterville resident Susan Truitt says the gas station and surrounding buildings are a part of the charm of Osterville.
I'm a newcomer. I've only been in Osterville for 8 years. But even in that short time, what I see is the things that are attractive about Osterville and the reason that it's an iconic place. I mean, there's a tragedy here happening. It's an endangered species. The determination to make money off every inch of Osterville means you're killing the goose that lays the golden egg. People come to Osterville because it's Osterville, because it's got some grungy buildings. I mean, that's what Osterville is about. A lot of people are not here year-round who get the picture of Osterville as just a small town. And we are really in danger of losing that completely.
Ultimately, the Historical Commission voted to delay the tear down 18 months. That is the fullest extent that the board can fight the project. Town Council meets tomorrow night. It will be the first Town Council meeting for the newly elected Town Councilors. Barnstable this morning, host Sarah Colvin sat down with Town Council President Dr. Deborah Dagwan to preview tomorrow's meeting.
Hello everyone, I'm Sarah Colvin, and joining us here in studio, I welcome Town Council President Dr. Deborah Dagwan. Deborah, good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
Thank you so much for coming in and talking with us. Of course, Town Council meets this week, kind of a short agenda, but before we talk about the agenda, I want to talk, of course, this is going to be the first night on the dais for 6 new Town Councilors.
Absolutely, and all 13 of us were sworn in on Monday. Because of the census, everybody had to run again. And out of the election, we ended up with 6 new councilors.
Exactly.
So it's very excited about it. They look like I've spoken to most of them and sent them out a little notice congratulating them and welcoming them to the council, and looking forward to working with them.
Wonderful. And it looked like Monday's ceremony was really well attended. It looked like a lot of people came out to support all of you guys.
Yeah, I think for me, that's the first time that we've had that many councilors, when all of the councilors were there to be sworn in, along with the clerk and also the gentleman from the Housing Authority. When I got sworn in several years ago, it was usually just 2 people.
Right.
And many times that's what you usually see at these swearing-in ceremonies, when there's usually just, few people. But as I said, we had 13 councilors. We had the town clerk sworn in, and the Housing Authority person that got sworn in. And they all brought family members with them. Yeah, I had some of my family members, and some of the ladies, women from my church came.
Wonderful,
to support
wonderful.
me
It's
as
always
well.
nice to have the people coming out and
It
supporting
really
you.
was.
And of course, everybody's getting to work this Thursday. And of course, there's got to be a little bit of a learning curve when you become a counselor. Of course, if you remember back when you were first elected, I'm sure that you know a little bit about what you're getting into, but really working with the dynamics of the group and getting all of the finer points certainly is something that you can't learn overnight.
Absolutely, it is a learning curve, and I'm still learning. And I think as counselors, we never know it all. There's so many areas that we look at, and departments that we work with, and we have various administrative codes and rules, and it's just a lot to take in. And so one of the things we're going to do this week is to look at the Town Council FY14 strategic plan. And each councilor has received a handbook which explains a lot of the procedures and the hierarchy and how things sort of work.
Right.
So that's going to be take up the majority of the meeting, I think, on Thursday night. So
Exactly,
we do have
but
a short
having
agenda.
those ground rules, having those things in place, making sure they understand the handbook, I think is very important to moving forward. So it's a good thing that if that's going to take up a majority of the meeting, that there isn't a whole lot of other stuff on the agenda. So let's talk a little bit about what's on the plan for Thursday night.
Basically, as I said, we we have invited the girls volleyball championship team in.
Exactly.
I had an opportunity to go to one of their games to see them play against Bishop Fenn. And I can remember Hannah Andrade and I believe Stephanie Martin. They're seniors, and they just were fantastic. But this has always been a very good team.
It really has.
They've been around a long time, and they're true champions. And I'm always excited about I'm excited about the guys as well, but
Yeah.
I'm always excited to see that girls are participating and doing just as well at Barnstable High School
And
in sports and athletic.
Exactly. And Coach Tom Turco certainly has done a phenomenal job. I think this is their 4th state championship in a row, and like the 10th in the past, 11 or 12 years. So
That's an
really,
amazing record.
It really is.
It's an amazing record.
And I think
so
the girls
proud
were
of them.
undefeated this year, so it'll be great to see them all come out and be celebrated by Town Council and really the whole town of Barnstable.
Oh, absolutely. So that's going to be probably the most exciting thing. It's always nice when you have young people come to the council and
Yes.
Get recognized for their efforts and whatnot.
Exactly.
And as I said, we have nothing under old business.
No old business.
No
Love
old
it.
business. And under new business, we have the authorizing of snow and ice overdraft order for the coming year. And each year, the town has a certain budget for snow removal. And if we go over that amount, this particular item authorizes the town manager to extend the funds.
Exactly, to
And
allocate
he
that
doesn't have to
money
do
when
it at the
necessary.
last minute. It's already in place, so
Right.
he
And
can
we
just
always-
act upon it.
We always cross our fingers that we won't have to do that.
Oh, absolutely. Not
But
looking
of
for an
course, thinking back to last year, there was significant expenses resulting around that nasty storm we had in February. So let's hope that covered us, and we won't have to deal with that at all this year. But good to know that they can do that, and that the money will be available when necessary, if necessary.
Yes, and we also will be accepting a grant for $2,000 from the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection for the purchase of recycling bins.
Excellent.
And we're trying to increase recycling here in the town, and I'm hoping that this will add to the effort of improving recycling.
Absolutely.
Getting people out there.
Not just throwing things away, but putting them back, so that it's
can be
really
reused.
important. I think that in our homes and at our workplaces, very important to think about recycling.
Absolutely, and Barnstable is one of the largest towns on the Cape, but we're probably the least. We recycle the least,
Right, we have a
among
low
many
recycling
many other towns. So we need to step up our game a little bit, I think,
Absolutely.
when it comes to recycling.
Absolutely. Well, Deborah, thank you so much for coming down and talking with us, and let's hope for a nice and speedy meeting on Thursday, and then get back to business later on.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to the new councils coming in,
Yes.
and as we look at the strategic plan and our objectives and goals, perhaps they'll have some suggestions for us as well, or
Great.
then maybe we'll tweak some things.
Exactly. Looking forward to seeing everybody work together. So thank you so much for coming down.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Of course, that Town Council meets Thursday night, 7 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room, and it will air live right here on Channel 18. Of course, been talking with Town Council President Dr. Deborah Dagwan. I'm Sarah Colvin.
The Shellfish Committee meets tonight. The committee will be discussing the possibility of a new shellfish grant in Barnstable Harbor. If the committee votes in favor of the plan, they would bring the proposal to the town manager for approval. The Shellfish Committee meets tonight at the Marine and Environmental Affairs Office on Finney's Lane. That meeting begins at 7 p.m. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.